You're standing in the back room of a restaurant you've walked past 1,000 times, but tonight the door is locked, the lights are dim, and the men sitting around the table aren't here for dinner. They're here to decide whether you live inside this world or disappear from it forever. One of them finally speaks. Kid, do you know what happens to people who see too much? You swallow. Because the truth is, you already know. Bodies vanish, businesses burn, and entire lives get erased like they never existed. But tonight, something else is happening. Instead of burying you, they're offering you a place in the family. What you don't realize yet is that this isn't just a job, it's a ladder. A ladder made of loyalty, money, and blood. And every step you climb gets more powerful, more dangerous, and harder to escape. Welcome to your life inside a billion-dollar mafia family. Level 1, the errand boy. Everyone starts somewhere. For you, it starts with coffee, not power, not respect. Coffee. You're the guy running errands, dropping off envelopes, picking up packages, driving people who don't like to drive themselves. No one tells you what's inside the envelopes. No one explains the packages, and you never ask. Because in this world, curiosity gets people hurt. Your phone rings constantly. Go here. Drop this off. Wait for a call. Sometimes it's simple. Sometimes you're sitting in a car outside a warehouse for 6 hours, waiting for someone to walk out with a briefcase. You get paid cash, more money than you've ever made. But you also notice something else. Nobody smiles. Nobody relaxes. Everyone is always watching. Because even the lowest level of this system operates inside something massive. A billion-dollar machine. Casinos, construction companies, waste management contracts, nightclubs, real estate developments, all quietly connected, all quietly controlled. And the men who run it, they aren't criminals in tracksuits. They wear tailored suits. They sit on charity boards. They shake hands with politicians. But down here at the bottom, you're just the kid who runs. And if you mess up, you won't get a second chance. Level 2, the soldier. After a year, things change. You're not running coffee anymore. Now you're trusted with something more important, money. You start collecting payments, protection fees, loan repayments, gambling debts. Your job is simple. Show up, stand there, and remind people who they owe. Most of the time, they pay immediately, because they know exactly what happens if they don't. Sometimes they stall. That's when things get uncomfortable. You don't threaten, you don't yell, you just calmly explain how this works. You remind them that the family helped them when the banks wouldn't. And you remind them the family expects loyalty in return. Usually, that's enough. But every once in a while, someone decides to test the system. And that's when you learn the first real rule of this world. The mafia doesn't operate on anger. It operates on reputation. If people believe the family is unstoppable, no one resists. And maintaining that belief is your job now, which means sometimes you have to make examples. And the first time you see it happen, you realize something important. This isn't a business, it's a kingdom. And kingdoms survive through fear. Level 3, the earner. Money is the only language that matters here. The more you bring in, the more valuable you become. Soon, you're not just collecting. You're running operations, illegal sports betting rings, underground poker games, high-interest loan businesses, nightclubs that quietly skim thousands every night. You learn how the money flows. Dirty cash enters through gambling, loans, and cash businesses. Then it moves, restaurants, construction firms, import companies. Eventually, it comes out clean. Invested in real estate, luxury hotels, even tech startups. On paper, it looks completely legitimate. But you know the truth. Behind every dollar is leverage. Behind every business is control. And the more money you bring in, the more doors open. Suddenly, you're sitting at tables you were never allowed near before. Listening to conversations about things that shape entire cities. Union contracts, city zoning approvals, major construction bids. You realize something shocking. This organization isn't just making money. It's quietly influencing the system around it. And the people running it, they're playing a much bigger game than anyone outside can see. But there's a catch. The higher you climb, the more people are watching. And not everyone wants to see you succeed. Level 4, the made man. This is where everything changes. Tonight, you're not an associate anymore. Tonight, you become part of the family. The ceremony is simple. A small room, a few senior members, a candle, an oath. You swear loyalty, total loyalty. You swear you'll never betray the family, never cooperate with law enforcement, never place anyone outside the organization above the family. Then, they prick your finger. A drop of blood falls onto a small card. The card burns in your hands. And someone says quietly, From this moment on, this family is your life. You're officially made, which means something very important. No one touches you without permission. You now have protection, status, authority. But it also means you're permanently inside this world, because leaving isn't an option anymore. You notice the shift immediately. People speak to you differently. They listen, they respect your word. But you also inherit new responsibilities, territories to manage, operations to oversee, conflicts to settle, and most importantly, you now have people under you, which means when things go wrong, the blame travels upward, straight to you. Level 5, the crew leader. Now you're running a crew, 5, 10, sometimes 15 guys working under you, each one running their own small operations, each one bringing money upward. Your job is management. You don't handle the street problems anymore. You manage the machine. Weekly meetings, cash counts, territory disputes. You collect a percentage from every operation, and you pass a percentage upward to the captain above you. This is when you begin to see the full structure. The family isn't chaos. It's organized like a corporation. Street associates, maid soldiers, crew leaders, captains, and above them, the boss. Everything flows upward. Money, information, loyalty. But so does risk. Law enforcement pressure increases. Rival families probe for weaknesses. Internal politics start creeping in. You learn something dangerous. Inside this world, your biggest threat isn't always outside. Sometimes it's sitting at the same dinner table as you, because ambition is everywhere, and there are only so many seats at the top. Level 6, the captain. When you become a captain, you're no longer just running a crew. You're running a territory. Entire neighborhoods operate under your authority. Restaurants, clubs, construction contracts, loan networks, illegal gambling houses, all connected to your command. You're responsible for millions now. Money flows through you like water, and the boss expects results. But this position comes with a darker reality. You're now responsible for discipline, which means if someone steals from the family, talks to law enforcement, or disrespects the organization, you're the one who decides what happens. Sometimes it's a warning. Sometimes it's a beating. Sometimes it's permanent. Those decisions change you. You stop thinking like a street guy. You start thinking like a ruler. Because you're not just protecting money anymore. You're protecting the structure. And structures this big survive by eliminating weaknesses quickly, ruthlessly, efficiently. The strange part? The money almost stops mattering. Power becomes the real currency. And once you taste that power, you realize something unsettling. You're not climbing the ladder anymore. You're helping control it. Level 7, the underboss. There are only a few people at this level. You're second in command. Every captain reports to you. Every major decision passes through you. The boss still makes the final call. But you run the daily empire, meetings with lawyers, discussions with politicians, financial planning, international business deals. Because by this point, the organization isn't just local anymore. It's global. Money moves through offshore accounts, shipping companies, foreign investments, entire industries quietly influenced by the family's capital. You begin to see how powerful this system really is. Not just illegal operations, legitimate wealth, billions flowing through businesses that look perfectly normal. The real genius of the system isn't violence, it's invisibility. To the outside world, this empire barely exists. But inside it, you now hold enormous influence. One phone call from you can shut down businesses, move millions, or change someone's life overnight. But power at this level has a cost. Everyone below you wants your position, and everyone above you wants to make sure you never threaten theirs. Level 8, the boss. The top seat is quieter than you expected. There are no celebrations, no dramatic coronation, just a chair at the head of the table. And suddenly, everyone waits for your decision. You control everything now. Territories, businesses, conflicts, all flowing through your command. But the strangest part of being the boss is realizing how fragile power actually is. Every move must be calculated. Too much violence attracts attention. Too little control invites rebellion. You're constantly balancing fear, loyalty, and profit. And the empire beneath you? It's massive. Casinos, shipping companies, luxury real estate, international investment funds, billions moving quietly through systems most people never notice. You don't operate in shadows anymore. You operate in boardrooms, private jets, charity galas. To the public, you're a businessman, a philanthropist, a respected figure. But behind closed doors, you still control the same machine you once ran errands for. And sometimes, late at night, You remember that kid standing nervously in the back room of that restaurant, the one who thought joining this world meant power. Because now you understand something he didn't. The higher you climb in this system, the fewer exits there are. And at the very top, you're not just running the empire, you're trapped inside it, forever.